For decades, Gucci was a name that meant elegance, wealth, and style. It was the brand you saw in glossy magazines, worn by the most famous people in the world. Behind its double G logo was the promise of pure luxury. Models walked down runways draped in Gucci. Celebrities posed for cameras wearing its latest designs. But behind the beauty, the brand's owners were caught in a storm. The Gucci family was not living in harmony, they were at war with each other. Power struggles, betrayal, and greed slowly poisoned the bloodline. And then, one day, it all went too far. No one expected this family feud to end with a murder, ordered by someone from the inside. The rise of the Gucci empire. The story begins in Florence, Italy in 1921. A man named Guccio Gucci opened a small leather goods shop. He wasn't a fashion designer at first. Before starting his business, Guccio worked as a hotel porter in London. He carried suitcases for wealthy guests, observing the quality of their travel bags. Smooth leather, strong stitching, elegant designs. When he returned to Italy, he decided to create something even better. His store sold finely crafted leather bags, belts, and shoes, all made by skilled Florentine artisans. Wealthy customers loved them. Soon, the Gucci name became a symbol of Italian craftsmanship. By the 1950s, Gucci had expanded internationally, opening stores in Rome, Milan, New York, and beyond. Hollywood stars like Elizabeth Taylor and Grace Kelly wore Gucci. Jacqueline Kennedy was famously photographed carrying a Gucci handbag, which became an instant bestseller. It was more than a business. It was a family empire. Guccio's sons joined the company, working together to keep the brand exclusive and desirable. But as time went on, the next generation began to see things differently. Love, marriage, and greed. In the 1970s, Guccio's grandson Maurizio Gucci met a young woman named Patrizia Reggiani. She was striking, charming, and ambitious. Patrizia came from a wealthy family and had a taste for the high life. When the two met at a party, sparks flew instantly. They married in 1973, and their life looked like a fairy tale. The couple traveled between luxury homes in Milan, New York, and Switzerland. They attended glamorous parties, mingled with celebrities, and enjoyed the wealth that came with the Gucci name. But Patrizia wanted more than just the lifestyle. She wanted to be part of the decision-making in the Gucci empire, influencing the direction of the brand. Maurizio was deeply involved in the company. Over time, he rose to a position of influence. Patrizia encouraged him to aim higher. She believed he should take full control. But with more power came more enemies, and some of them were inside his own family. The family feud begins. The Gucci family was a dynasty, but it was far from united. By the early 1980s, tensions among the cousins and uncles had reached a breaking point. Creative direction and company strategy turned into open warfare. In 1983, after the death of his father, Maurizio inherited a 50% stake in the company. But instead of working together with his relatives, he began plotting to push them out. His most notable rival was his uncle, Aldo Gucci, who had helped expand the brand internationally. Maurizio accused Aldo of mismanaging funds, while Aldo accused Maurizio of being inexperienced and reckless. Court cases followed, with each side hiring powerful lawyers. The feud tore the family's public image apart. Patrizia initially supported her husband's ambition. She played the role of advisor, telling friends she was the unofficial boss of Gucci. But the closer Maurizio got to full control, the more he pulled away from her influence. In 1985, Maurizio left Patrizia abruptly. He told her he was going on a short business trip, but in reality, their marriage was effectively over, though the legal divorce would take years. The fall of Maurizio Gucci. At first, Maurizio enjoyed his power at the top, but running Gucci was more challenging than he expected. He invested heavily in new headquarters, expensive renovations, and creative projects that drained money without boosting sales. By the early 1990s, Gucci was losing its reputation. Fashion critics claimed the brand had lost its spark. Profits dropped, and investors were getting nervous. In 1993, Maurizio sold his remaining shares to Investcorp, a Bahrain-based investment group. The deal marked the end of Gucci as a family-owned business. For Patrizia, this was a personal humiliation. She had married into an empire. Adding to her resentment was the news that Maurizio planned to remarry. The man she once loved and had fought beside was moving on without her. Her hurt turned into hatred, and hatred soon turned into a deadly plan: the shocking murder. On the morning of March 27, 1995, Milan was waking up to a sunny day. Maurizio walked toward his office carrying documents in his hand and took a step toward the building. Suddenly, a man approached from behind. 3 shots rang out. 2 hit Maurizio in the back. He collapsed instantly, blood pooling on the marble steps. Witnesses screamed. The police arrived within minutes, but the killer had vanished. The murder stunned Italy. Television stations interrupted broadcasts. The last Gucci to run the company was dead, and no one knew why. The trial and truth. For nearly 2 years, the case went unsolved. Police suspected business rivals, unpaid debts, even mafia involvement. But the real answer was more shocking. Investigators discovered that Patrizia Reggiani had hired a hitman, arranging the plan through her friend Pina Oriema. The payment was around $375,000. When the police arrested Patrizia in 1997, the media went into a frenzy. Photographers crowded outside the courthouse. Patrizia, dressed in expensive clothes and oversized sunglasses, smiled for the cameras. She acted less like a suspect in a murder trial and more like a celebrity at a premiere. During the trial, prosecutors painted her as cold and calculating. They revealed taped conversations where she spoke about wanting Maurizio dead. Her motive, they argued, was a mix of revenge, jealousy, and financial greed. The Italian press gave her the nickname La Vedova Nera, the Black Widow. Her lack of remorse shocked the public. In 1998, Patrizia was convicted of arranging the murder and sentenced to 29 years in prison. Her accomplices, including the hitman, received long sentences as well. Life after the scandal. Even behind bars, Patrizia's personality did not change. She refused prison work, famously saying she kept a pet ferret in her cell and decorated her space with luxury items allowed by prison rules. After serving 18 years, Patrizia was released in 2016 for good behavior. She returned to Milan and was soon spotted shopping, dining at upscale restaurants, and even giving interviews. When asked if she regretted her actions, she replied, "No, because he annoyed me." By then, Gucci the brand had undergone a complete transformation. Under designer Tom Ford in the 1990s, it became one of the most desirable fashion houses in the world again. Today, creative director Alessandro Michele and others have kept the brand at the top of the luxury market. But no member of the Gucci family has any ownership. The name remains, but the bloodline is gone from the boardroom. A deadly legacy. The Gucci family feud is more than a tabloid headline. It is a story about how ambition, pride, and greed can destroy everything, even love and family. An empire built on beauty and craftsmanship was torn apart, not by market forces, but by the people who were supposed to protect it. Today, Gucci is still a global symbol of luxury. The runways, the bags, the famous logo, they remain as strong as ever. But beneath that polished image lies a shadow, a true story of betrayal, revenge, and murder. The world will always remember the luxury, but it will never forget the murder that changed everything.